Hey everybody, it's Stephanie Lee and Edmond Lee, and we're the Lees, and we're bringing to you another episode of Our 4 Cents. And we got a really interesting topic to talk about on this one, but I'm going to let Steph kind of talk about what we're about to talk about today.
Okay, so today's hot topic is about B. Smith. If you guys haven't heard, B. Smith is a former restaurateur, a lifestyle guru. She's built this beautiful legacy in entrepreneurship, and she unfortunately now has Alzheimer's. So why this is a hot topic is because it came out within the last couple of weeks that her husband, who's been taking care of her, now has a girlfriend. And he's had a girlfriend for the last year and a half, who also has a room in this house. And they are helping, well, she is helping taking care of him. And a lot of people have a lot of things to say about this. And, you know, his name is Dan Gatsby, I believe. Dan for sure. And he has said that, you know, he was kind of dying inside and felt alone and all these reasons why he feels that this new dynamic is worthwhile. So that's something I definitely wanted to bring up to my husband and talk with you guys about. So
yeah, so some of the other pieces, so we watched a interview from I wasn't an interview, it was actually just the people from the Breakfast Club, their thoughts on it, which is a morning show. And there were some other things that came out. So one of the things that came out was the fact that he said that he had a conversation with his wife before, or maybe when she had just started getting Alzheimer's or whatever, and she said, I want you to live on and live your life and you know, still enjoy life, etc. I believe they're around 70 years old, etc. And they've been married for quite some time. And the second thing was that, you know, one of the statistics that was brought up is that the caregiver many times dies 70% of the time, I believe, before the person actually caring for it, because of the time, the energy, and the stress that happens when taking care of somebody. So what we wanted to do, we wanted to give our 4 cents on it, obviously, but we also wanted to hear, you know, from you all in the comments what you think about this. If you think this topic or any of our topics are cool, we definitely want you to like and subscribe so you can get more of our videos. But let's talk about one, Steph. Let's just get your thoughts on the situation. Then we'll give our, because we haven't had this talk. We haven't even had this conversation about what we would do.
yeah.
So we're going to talk about them first, and then we're going to kind of go with what we would personally do. Okay.
I am not here for that at all. Not at all. I've heard him give interviews and say, one of the things that he says that bothered me the most with this is, I believe in the sanctity of marriage until death do us part, but. Okay, so whenever you say something and you put but after what you have said, everything before it negates what you said. It's kind of like, I don't want to be rude, but that means I'm about to be rude. I don't want to be in your business, but I'm about to ask you something that is inappropriate. So saying that I believe in the sanctity of marriage, and I think they've been married for almost 30 years, or I believe in death do us part, but pretty much killed everything that he said, especially with his behavior. For me, marriage is a partnership that is everlasting. And that's why those vows are so important. Like, people, it sounds cute, but marriage will really test how serious you are with those vows. And there's a reason why it's in sickness and health till death do us part. You don't get to check out because being with someone who is, you know, not themselves anymore, which is really sad. Like, the therapist in me understands the loneliness and, you know, the isolation and the giving of oneself and not being nourished. I get that. But at the end of the day, I don't believe that he should have a woman who has a room in the house. Have a girlfriend, like, you're married, but I mean, come on. And then have a room in the house. So she now lives in this house that this woman has built with him. And she's taking pictures and helping out. And the selling point is that she helps too. And she helps him, which helps her. Like, what? And it's just so sad because I've seen videos of her and she doesn't even know what's happening. Like, I think that's
I haven't seen any videos.
Yeah, there's like a little clip of their little, you know, weirdo setup. And like, you know, and she doesn't know what's happening. And I feel so sad. So I know everybody can do whatever they want to do. And this is part of why we want to have this dialogue. But I know for me, you know, and that's another thing I thought of. I'm jumping around, but another thing I thought of is if B. Smith's husband was in this situation, how quick would she be willing to bring in some in-house sausage because she's feeling lonely?
Not the sausage.
Yes. Yes. Like, are you in another room having sex with your girlfriend after you put your wife
that 70-year-old sex, huh?
Stop it.
I mean, y'all really...
I'm just thinking about that. I just feel like, I don't know, and we don't know, but I don't know that she would do that. Have another dude. Can you imagine? Like, you don't know what's going on, and my boyfriend is here helping walk you to the bathroom. Like, it's crazy to me. So that would not work for me. No judgment on whoever would work.
Oh my God, this
full
is
judgment. But that would not work for me. And so that's where I struggle. It's, if you really want to be with someone, then you have to sign up. And that sickness and health doesn't always come when you're 70. It could come early, and you really have to commit to being that person's person. And it's not easy, but that's why marriage is so serious. So that's my rant for now. What do you think? I'll probably come up with something else.
Well, I mean, I'm looking at it from a different angle, as far as, like, first of all, what we do is, I'm going to save that for the second part, but you already kind of said yours. But
oh, sorry.
As far as this couple, right? So there's some things that I don't agree with. First of all, as you guys will realize, that we are married, we have our own opinions in life and thoughts and perspectives, and we still have our individuality. And at the same time, I look at some things from a different spiritual point of view. I look at things in a different light a lot of times. And the way I want to talk about this is where, first of all, I believe that what I like about it, there's things I like and things I don't like. I'm not here to judge them and their marriage. We got enough going on with our own. I don't really get into other people's marriages. I'll tell you that now. So if you ever are looking for the gossip from me, you're not going to really get it. I don't judge people that do that either. It's just not my thing. So what I will say, though, is in this situation, my 2 cents of the 4 is that they have whatever agreement that they have, if they even have it. So that's another thing. If they have an agreement between them two, then I tell people, look, man, when I die, it's me alone, and that's it. And our marriage is us two. That's our marriage. So whatever we decide on or don't decide on, then I think that's what I want to impart, like, get you guys to do, is to think about, how would you take this? How would you do, instead of being so worried about them, like, yeah, talk about it, it's fun, the guys have a good little chat, but then, like, man, what would I do? Or what would you do? And if you're married or thinking about getting married, maybe have that conversation. And that's what we really want to do, is have you all to challenge a little bit the way you think and have more conversations that matter. So that's the way I looked at it. I don't know if they had that conversation. It's not my place to know. But if they did, that's between them. Right. But I do think that if you're going to do something like that, I think there should be some parameters on it. They built these businesses, having her in the home. I mean, that, and I'm getting kind of to the way I look at it. It's just, I just think that's a weird situation. Yeah. But some people, at Three's Company, some people live together now in no issue. Some people swinging for the fences, and they have their own life. Literally, people have their own lifestyles. Yeah. And who am I to judge that? I know people that are close to me that have gay marriages. They have all types of swinging things that are going on. And who am I to judge these people for whatever they choose to do? So I think I'm a little more just open with other people's situation and what they want to do with their lives. So, and I know people can look at different religious texts and judge this type of marriage, that type of marriage, this type of relationship, this type of orientation. And I'm just not that person to do that. So that's about it. But the in-home action is very interesting. I think that could just get weird. And then the taking pictures stuff, I just,
Yeah, like
that's weird to me. But,
the girlfriend at one point, and clearly I'm projecting from my level of comfort with this, but the girlfriend at one point said something like, at another point in time, we could have been best friends if we would have met
said,
like
25. We didn't even talk about the race
and
thing.
I'm like, ugh, like, really? That's what we're talking about?
But everybody who's talking trash was tuning in to Scandal every week. I bet you. People forgot that she was a mistress. They're, oh, go Olivia, go. Hold on. And I even told her, I'm like,
yeah.
Do you realize this?
Yeah.
Like, even pastors were like, man, and they had to be like, oh, man.
Yeah.
Like, what am I doing? You got caught up in the story.
Yeah,
like, man, I want them to go to Vermont. Really?
Yeah.
What happened to all of this Christianity stuff you're talking about? Yeah. So I think it's just hard to get into that situation. Charlemagne was like, man, I don't know what I would do. So let's go ahead and bring that to the table. Mm-hmm. we haven't had this conversation.
We have not.
I know. I don't know. You want me to go first? I already got an idea what you would say, but
yeah, I can't even stop myself. So this is interesting because we have not had this conversation, but this is what we implore you guys to do, because it makes you think, okay, what would we do? And we need to have these conversations. Absolutely not. For me.
Okay.
For me. I don't care if I don't know who I am. I don't care if I don't know where my nose is. It's just you and me. And I will haunt you from the grave. Because when I die, then I'll get everything back and I'll come back for you.
Wow.
I'm not okay with it. So I'm saying that on record. So all my friends out there, you know, if it happens, look for him.
Wow. Well, is it my turn yet?
I think so.
Okay. Me, first of all, if I was in that situation, get me out of here. Like, I don't even want to be here like that. Like, just get me out of here. Go live your life. I don't want to be a vegetable. Pull the plug. Shoot me. Cover me up with the pillow. I don't want to live that life. I'm serious.
Dark.
Like, it's.
But she's alive. She's walking around. She's alive.
But she doesn't remember from one day to the next, right?
She does. There's a lot she doesn't remember. Okay, so she's kind of not checked into herself.
But she doesn't see that this lady is living in the house every day, as if
she doesn't register
the nurse every day.
So this would be a good time to really do some education on Alzheimer's, because I don't necessarily know how it works, but she doesn't register that this relationship is going on, and sometimes they don't. Well, so you're here, you're eating, you're taking a shower, going out. She went to get her nails done. Like, you're still a person living. It's just that if I walk in, you're not going to say, my wife. You're just,
this
lady.
Yeah, she called him daddy. She called her,
so
like, not in a freaky way, but she called him like her father, which is weird, you know, and that's tough. And so here's so that's another thing. So I was talking about, I guess, terminal illness. If I'm about to, you know, kick it, just push me over, like, that's, you know, get me out of here. Okay. So that's different. So if it was that situation, here's the thing. Like, what really got me was the statistic of the 70%, right? And I'm more like the Bruce Willis in Armageddon. Like, I'll die on the asteroid, like, before I take somebody with me. Like, if I'm on the way out or I'm in that space, I don't want you to go too and go before me because you're so busy taking care of me. I definitely don't agree with somebody in the house and moping around with, you know, that's just to me is disrespectful for us. Right. Do you? But I don't. If you're gonna have somebody in the house, have the nurse or my mom or whoever is around at that time, my sister, whoever. But as far as that type of situation, I don't think it's and I don't think it needs to be a spectacle. I don't think it needs to be on YouTube. I don't think it needs to be on Facebook because and here's why. A lot of people say first impressions are lasting impressions. I disagree 100%. I agree to an extent, but I believe lasting impressions are lasting impressions. And I'll prove it to you. You think about Bill Cosby, what he did when he first started his career, not what we just found out he was doing, but what he did for black colleges, what he did for all this. And then boom, what is he remembered for now though? Like how you end and how I leave this planet. If I'm out here some type of way, don't have another dude in my domain taking up my legacy in the way I go out. And now this lady has done all this stuff in the restaurant business, but this is what they're going to talk about for her. And I just think life is bigger than that. And I know they want to be champions and move for this conversation. Man, screw that. Like, there's other conversations we can have when I'm on my way out and if I'm not there. So I would say respect me in that level. But as far as you living life, if you still can go and travel and go to Paris, do that. Like, I wouldn't want you to just wither away because of me for the next whatever.
So would you want dating or a relationship? Because some people are saying the biggest, depending on who you are, saying the biggest disrespect is having that person in the home. So maybe he should be, since his wife is not able to be his wife, maybe he should be able to have a girlfriend for emotional support outside of the home.
You're about to get a lot of comments from
So what do you think? Do you think a boyfriend or someone that you're, at that age, just more of a male friend?
Companionship,
Yeah.
That's what it...
What do you think about that? Because that's seeking the companionship that you seek from your spouse with somebody else. That's still very...
Well, the thing is, he can't get it.
Well, I get it, but he's still married.
Dad, you're thinking, okay, so
are you okay with that? A boyfriend outside the house?
I would be.
I would not be.
I know that. I would because I don't want, and I know a lot of people are not going to agree with, but the point of this show is not, I'm not doing this for people to agree with me.
I get it.
Like, I'm not taking my wife out of the game because I'm sick. Like, you know how selfless I am. This isn't something new.
Right.
Like, this is how I've been my whole life. Like, giving and providing and helping, and okay, now you have to die before me. Like, I really look, numbers make 70%. That's a hell of a, and maybe look, let me give you some context. So my grandmother passed away for after having a stroke, and she started dealing with that and not knowing who I was at times, and my mother struggled with it. I actually moved to help my mom with it, and I've seen just some conversations, and you know, if you haven't taken care of somebody and got to the point, there's two big times that just really hit you. One is when you have to start talking about like planning things and they don't remember you. That's a tough thing. The second one is when they stop eating. Like, that's when it gets so real, because now you're like, we know what happens when somebody doesn't eat. It's only a matter of what, 4 or 5 days. And you know, I'm kind of reliving that, and I really was just like, I don't ever want somebody to have to deal with this. And it took a lot out of my mom. It took a lot of people, and it wasn't just one person. It was my mom, my uncle, my auntie, the family, the nurse, the hospice, everybody. And so, I think that, and a lot of people that haven't experienced any of that, of what it takes to really do that. You know, it's tough. And so
it is tough either way.
And a lot of people are so quick to judge, and then they hit you with, oh, the vows and the Bible and all these different things. Well, first of all, everybody doesn't follow the same religion. Everybody has their own whatever beliefs. And so I'm not here to judge whatever that may be. And I'm telling you my thoughts now in front of you and everybody else, that it is what it is. But don't disrespect me and have Job like, I'm like Bernie, and you know, no, don't do me like that. You know what I'm saying?
You're regular.
I'm just like this in the back of the picture, you know, and Buddy right here like that, you know. But I wouldn't want.
Good Lord.
I'm just saying, man. But I mean, it makes me wonder too.
But these are parameters.
Do they have kids? Do they have other people helping out? Or?
So they do have a daughter. There was a daughter in like the 5-minute, 6-minute clip that I saw. I don't know if it's both of their daughters. I don't know, but there is an adult child involved. No matter what you have, though, no matter like how many family members you have helping out, or you know, resources, it's still difficult because I think it's emotionally taxing. And that, I think that's the biggest wear and tear, the emotional and the mental taxing aspect of taking care of someone and watching them decompensate. You know, that doesn't change my answer from earlier, but I'm just sharing that I can recognize the stress in that. You know, my grandmother kind of needs to be taken care of right now. Her mother, when she was alive, for probably the last 15 years, needed to be taken care of. So it's a lot of wear and tear, for sure.
Yeah, you said they're still married. Now here's something that I don't think anybody talked about. So a lot of people say, well, they're still married in this situation. And then I think one person in one of the comments I saw was like, well, why doesn't he divorce her? And I think that's even worse. Like, I mean, like, wow. Like, okay, well, since y'all say I'm wrong, let me go ahead and cut the ties, and then let me just hit it. Like, you know, and then,
a good way to do that.
Yeah, that's
even worse.
But, and he's still there taking care of, so Charlamagne's point was like, he's still there taking care of her. And, you know, it's an interesting situation. I would love people to chime in on like what they would do.
Yeah, what would you guys do?
And for you know, and I know people are going to judge my response. They're going to judge yours, and that's fine. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, like I say, man, death is a one-way ticket, man. And at the end of the day, that's what I want you all to think about. And here's another thing I want to talk about, not just with Bill Cosby, but I want to bring up something that's pretty interesting. So when we talk about legacy, that's one of the big things that is passionate about me. You'll start seeing more and more of that, and it really is what you do and how you end this planet, like in your life on this planet. And I think it just needs to be done with respect and grace. Think about it. You think about, you know, the Nobel Peace Prize. What do you think about? Martin Luther King, Obama, right? All these people that received these awards, and that's such a great thing. And that was because, you know, Nobel left $9 million way back in the day to help people create peace. But do you know who he was? No, nobody knows.
No.
How did he start?
Trick question.
He created dynamite. He killed a lot of people. People still die today because of his invention. And dynamite is actually from a Greek word, I think it's dynastis, that means power. He was really about power, and it wasn't about peace at all. And so what happened over time, it was actually going to be the Nobel blasting powder, which was what it was called, because gunpowder was back in like in Asia, like the dynasties were using gunpowder. It was black gold basically because it was so valuable. But then he shifted it on his deathbed, and then, well, not even on his deathbed. He started talking to someone that was really about peace and change. It was a woman, the first winner. I think her name was Beth or something like that. She was one of the first winners, and she helped soften him and allowed him that space to actually shift into being about peace, or at least putting that out there. And it was interesting. That's all we know from that is positive stuff. But all the other stuff that he did before that, nobody even knows about it or cares about it. And so that's what I don't like about all the stuff that she has accomplished, and the things that she's done is now being swallowed up into this thing. And it just kind of sucks. And then another thing that they were saying, that she did all this stuff, and he's, you know, got this woman. It's a black couple, and the woman that he's dating is white, I believe. Mm-hmm. And they're saying that she built all this. She built this restaurant, blah, blah, blah. And did you hear that when she was talking about that and having somebody in the home that she built and all that? Have you heard about that take on it?
The take of race?
Well, I just brought up 2 points. The race part, but then also the fact that she built this business.
Absolutely.
And it's like,
well, that's what I think. You know, that's why I think that's one of the many reasons why I think it's disrespectful that she is in this home, in this space that she has built with her husband, and now this other woman is reaping the fruits of that. The race thing, I think, is a different video, because we can talk. A lot of people have issue with not only it's another woman, but it's a white woman, and she's black, and it's a black couple. And so historically we've always had issues with race. I mean, that's not something new. So you know, that is a point if that's a concern for you as well.
I think certain people that triggers, you know, to me it's, I mean, people love who they love. I mean, I don't know how that started or whatever. I'm not in there to judge that situation either. And I know people want more out of that, but I'm just not the one to do it. No. But the thing about it, I do like that you said her and her husband, because I heard a couple people say, well, she built this. And I'm sitting back and I'm like, wow, okay, they were married 29 years and she built it all? He didn't have anything to do. He didn't help emotion, nothing, but let it be flipped. A lot of times, the man built. No, the woman is there. She helped. Let me tell you, when you're married, your spouse helps, whether they negatively make you want to prove them wrong or stick it to them, because she does that sometimes. She wants to stick it to me, prove the point. Or if they are already supporting and pushing, they are a part of it. And I heard a lot of people make it seem like the guy had no say, like he did nothing to help out.
Well, I think it's because she was in the forefront. She was in the spotlight. So
well, the same thing. Every president,
I'm not saying it's okay,
every president has been in the forefront, but we know that there is no Barack without Michelle. Like, there's no secret to that. And all presidents, they may not talk about their wives, but best believe the unit is what you may see the results, but the unit is what makes it happen. Absolutely. So I just want that to be known on both ends. Not saying this because it was a man only. If it was a woman, I'd be saying the same exact thing.
Absolutely. So this is our take on that, you guys. We want to hear what you think. Please comment, like, subscribe, and also we're going to let you know our posting schedule. So we're going to start posting on Mondays, Wednesdays, today, and Fridays. Do you want to tell them a little bit about Mondays?
Yeah, so Mondays are my Mondays. Not mine is in mine, but mine is in yours, right? So a lot of people, like a lot of the depression, people start getting on a depression cycle starting around 8 p.m. on Sunday. Like, it's like,
or earlier.
Getting ready to know that the weekend is over for most people. As an entrepreneur, every day's Monday, every day's Saturday for me. But for even them, I still flow with the work schedule of most people, and most people have jobs, and that stress causes people to not like Mondays. I think it's like the highest heart attack day, depression, all these other suicide days, all that. So what we wanted to do was flip it, right? We thought about doing fun Fridays, which we'll still have some cool stuff, but we said, well, why don't we take back Monday? Instead of it being the job's day or your boss's day or somebody else's day or my client's days, let's make it your day. So let's make our videos about something that can just give you guys a quick little challenge or a quick little tip or word or energy for the day or the week that can
something that starts the week with a positive.
Starts to be with a positive, you know, some type of positivity or something to get you moving and shaking. And so
that's Monday.
That's Mondays. Wednesdays are recorded, but they might be live. But don't you tell them about Wednesdays?
Well, Wednesdays are going to be live. We'll let you know as we move forward with that, but they will be our 4 cents
some
episodes.
Some of them will be live, right?
Yeah, some of them.
Not all of them.
They'll be our 4 cents episodes, though, and then Fridays are going to be fun. So we'll throw in some of our personal videos, some of our travel videos, some of our fun interviews. Basically, you never know. Friday is a wild card. So
it might be a 30-second video or 30 minutes or 10 minutes. We don't know what Friday. Fridays we're leaving open to kind of just foolish Fridays. We're just going to do whatever we feel like doing at the time.
Yep. So that's it.
So what we want you to do now is we definitely want to keep this conversation going. We would love for you to comment what you would like to do, what you may have gotten out of this video. Please like it and share it. And we look forward to having the conversation continue. And we look forward to sending and sharing more videos. Like, subscribe, share, have a great time, and have the conversation that you need to have with your spouse, significant other, or soon to be.
All right.